The massive screen in the Imperial Command Center showed thousands of stars, each one representing a world under the Galactic Empire's control. Admiral Stone stood before it, his old eyes fixed on a small blue dot that had just appeared at the edge of their space. Something about this new world made him uneasy. "Admiral, the scout ships have returned from Earth," said Lieutenant Ross, walking quickly into the room. "You'll want to see this report right away." Stone took the data pad, and his eyes widened as he read. The planet called Earth showed signs of rapid technological advancement. In just the last 100 years, these humans had gone from simple ground vehicles to basic spaceflight. This kind of progress was unnatural by galactic standards. "Have they detected our presence?" Stone asked, not looking up from the report. "No, sir. Our cloaking technology remains effective. But there's something else." Ross pulled up a hologram showing various human activities. "These creatures are different. They live in every environment on their planet. Frozen wastelands, burning deserts, dense jungles. They adapt to everything." Stone watched as images showed humans climbing the highest mountains without breathing equipment, diving into deep oceans, and even living in underground cities. Most species in the Empire needed special suits just to visit environments different from their home worlds. "Their military capabilities?" Stone asked, though he already dreaded the answer. "Primitive by our standards, but—" Ross hesitated. "They have enough nuclear weapons to destroy their own planet several times over. And they keep them ready," pointing at each other. Stone sat down heavily in his command chair. A species that would risk their own extinction just to maintain military balance. This was unprecedented. Most worlds the Empire conquered had unified governments and minimal weapons. It made them easy to control. "There's more," Ross continued. "They fight constantly. Not just wars, but they turn everything into competition. Sports, business, education. They push themselves to improve through endless contest." The Admiral brought up Earth's entertainment broadcasts on another screen. Humans created countless stories about fighting alien invaders. In most of them, Earth won against impossible odds. Stone felt a chill run down his spine. These humans spent their free time imagining how to defeat superior forces. "Sir," Ross said quietly, "should we recommend delayed contact? These humans might need more observation." Before Stone could answer, the main door slid open. Lord Marcus, the Empire's chief diplomat, walked in with his usual arrogant stride. His golden robe sparkled under the command center's lights. "Observation." Marcus laughed. "The High Council has already made its decision. We've conquered 10,000 species using standard protocols. These humans will be no different." Stone stood up, his military training barely hiding his frustration. "My lord, with respect, these humans show unusual traits. They're incredibly adaptable, surprisingly aggressive, and primitive." Marcus interrupted. "Their ships barely reach their own moon. Their weapons are basic. Their cities would fall to a single Imperial destroyer." "That's not the point," Stone argued. "Look at their rate of advancement. Look at how they thrive on conflict. If we attack and don't win immediately—" "Enough." Marcus waved his hand dismissively. "The High Council orders standard subjugation protocols to begin immediately. Your concerns are noted, Admiral, but the Empire has never failed to conquer a pre-FTL civilization." As Marcus left the room, Stone turned back to the main screen. The little blue dot seemed to mock him. In 5,000 years of service, he'd never felt such worry about a simple conquest. "Lieutenant," he said softly, "send a private message to all our border fleet commanders. Tell them to prepare for unusual resistance, and download everything we have about human military history. I want to understand how they think." "Yes, sir." Ross paused at the door. "Sir, do you really think they could resist the Empire?" Stone thought about the humans' endless drive to compete, their ability to survive anywhere, their strange comfort with conflict. "I think, Lieutenant, We're about to learn why it's dangerous to underestimate a species that turns everything into a fight for survival. As Ross left, Stone added a personal note to his command log. First observation of Earth complete. Recommendation for extreme caution ignored. May the Empire's pride not be its downfall. The blue dot continued to shine on the screen. Peaceful for now. But Stone knew that peace would soon end. The Empire was about to learn a harsh lesson about humanity, and he could only hope the cost of that lesson wouldn't be too high. Lord Marcus stood on the bridge of his diplomatic vessel, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. His golden robes rustled as he paced back and forth, practicing his victory speech. After all, this was supposed to be a simple subjugation, just like the 10,000 that came before it. "My lord," Captain White called from his station, "we're detecting unusual activity. The humans have spotted our approach. They're mobilizing their military forces." Marcus waved his hand dismissively. As expected, begin standard protocol broadcast. The massive Imperial ship activated its communication arrays, beaming the Empire's demand for surrender in all Earth languages. Marcus smiled, remembering how most species simply gave up when they saw the size of Imperial ships. But the humans didn't respond as expected. "Sir," White's voice carried a note of surprise. "They're not surrendering. Their militaries are coordinating. Every nation on Earth is joining forces." Marcus frowned. This wasn't normal. Usually, primitive species fought among themselves when the Empire arrived, making them easier to conquer. Launch the scout ships. Show them our technological superiority. 3 sleek Imperial scouts descended toward Earth. They were meant to demonstrate Imperial power by easily avoiding primitive weapons. Instead, multiple human missile launches tracked them perfectly. "Impossible," White shouted as one scout exploded. "They've adapted their targeting systems. They're learning our evasion patterns." The second scout crashed into the ocean after its engines failed. The third barely made it back to the main ship, its hull damaged by something the sensors didn't recognize. Marcus watched in disbelief as humans swarmed over the crashed scout ship. Their recovery teams worked with incredible speed, completely ignoring the toxic atmosphere leaking from the Imperial vessel. Within hours, they had moved the entire ship to a secure facility. "My lord," White said quietly, "you should see this. The humans, they're taking our scout ship apart. They're studying it, understanding it." "That's impossible," Marcus snapped. "It would take them decades to understand our technology. Their primitive minds couldn't possibly." An alarm blared through the ship. On the screen, energy readings spiked from the human facility containing the crashed scout. They had already activated its power core. "Sir, we're detecting weapons being mounted on their orbital stations. The designs, they're based on our technology. They've already begun adapting it." Marcus felt his first real fear as he watched humans modify their existing weapons with elements of Imperial tech. Their speed of adaptation was unheard of. The Empire's greatest scientists had never seen anything like it. "Send the warning shots," Marcus ordered, his voice shaking slightly. "Target their major cities. Show them resistance is futile." The Imperial ship fired its energy weapons, expecting to see humans panic at the display of power. Instead, their orbital stations deployed shields that shouldn't have been possible with their level of technology. "My lord," White's voice was barely a whisper now. "They're sending us a message, audio only." A clear, calm human voice filled the bridge. "This is Earth's United Defense Command to Imperial vessel. Your warning shots have been noted. Our return demonstration begins now." Suddenly, alarms screamed across every system. Hundreds of small ships appeared from behind Earth's moon. Ships that combined human and Imperial technology in ways that should have been impossible. "How?" Marcus stammered. "How did they build ships so quickly?" "Sir," White replied, checking his readings, "they didn't build new ships. They modified their existing space stations and satellites. They're using our own scout ships' technology against us. The human ships moved in patterns the Imperial computers couldn't predict. They attacked from angles that made no tactical sense, yet somehow worked perfectly. Within minutes, the Imperial ship's shields were failing. "Retreat!" Marcus screamed as another blast rocked the ship. "Get us out of this system." As the Imperial ship flowed into faster-than-light travel, Marcus received one final message from Earth. "Next time, try asking nicely. We're always open to peaceful contact between equals." Back in Imperial space, Marcus faced the harsh truth. For the first time in its history, the Empire's standard subjugation protocol had failed completely. Worse, they had given humans access to Imperial technology that humans were already improving upon. He had to report this to the High Council, but how could he explain that humanity had done in weeks what took other species centuries? How could he admit that Earth was now armed with hybrid technology that the Empire's best engineers didn't even understand? Admiral Stone's warning echoed in his mind. Some species shouldn't be underestimated. Now the Empire would pay the price for ignoring that warning. Commander Reed stood at the window of Earth's new Space Command Center, watching the hybrid fleet take shape in orbit. In just 3 months, humans had transformed their space stations into warships by combining their own technology with what they learned from the captured Imperial scout. "Commander," Lieutenant Wilson called from his station, "the Pride of Empire has entered our solar system. They're bringing their biggest ship, the dreadnought they call Unstoppable." Reed smiled. The Empire still didn't understand humans. They thought bringing a bigger ship would scare Earth into surrender. They didn't realize that humans saw it differently. Bigger just meant a bigger target. "Launch Operation Hidden Blade," Reed ordered. This was the moment they had prepared for. Across Earth's orbit, hundreds of small ships appeared to power down. To Imperial sensors, they would look like space debris, broken satellites and old rocket parts, but each one carried a surprise inside. The massive Imperial dreadnought moved closer, its golden hull gleaming in the sunlight. It was huge, bigger than any human city. Its weapons could destroy entire planets. The Empire had never lost a battle with this ship. "They're broadcasting their demand," Wilson reported. "Same as last time. Complete surrender or total destruction." Reed picked up his communication mic. "This is Earth Command to Imperial Dreadnought Unstoppable. We have a response for you." He nodded to Wilson, who pressed a button. Suddenly, all the space debris came to life. Each piece was actually a tiny ship equipped with both human and Imperial technology. But humans had added something the Empire had never seen before: video game controllers. "What?" The Imperial captain's confused voice came through the speakers. "Your pilots are using entertainment devices to control ships." "Yes," Reed replied. "Our best pilots spent their whole lives training with these controllers, playing what you'd call games. Now they're using those skills for real." The small human ships moved in ways Imperial computers couldn't predict. They darted and weaved like players in a video game, getting past the dreadnought's defenses. The Empire's targeting systems, designed to track proper military formations, couldn't handle the chaos of human attack patterns. "Sir," Wilson shouted excitedly, "the gaming division is past their shields. Starting Phase 2. Reed watched as the tiny ships attached themselves to the dreadnought's hull. Each one carried a special weapon, a combination of Imperial energy technology and human mining explosives. The Empire had never thought to use their advanced power cells as bombs. "Impossible." The Imperial captain's voice shook. "Our shields are the strongest in the galaxy." "How did you?" "We learned from video games," Reed interrupted. "In games, every invincible enemy has a weak point. We just had to find yours." The explosion started small but quickly grew. The Imperial power cells overloaded one by one, creating a chain reaction. The mighty dreadnought, pride of the Empire's fleet, began breaking apart. "All Imperial personnel," Reed broadcast, "your ship is lost. Abandon it now and we'll rescue your escape pods. You have 5 minutes." The Empire's crew couldn't believe it. Their invincible ship was being destroyed by tiny vessels controlled by humans using game devices. Worse, these primitives were offering mercy, something the Empire never did. As escape pods launched from the dying dreadnought, Reed turned to his crew. Rescue teams, move in. Show them how humans treat surrendered enemies. The Imperial survivors watched in confusion as human ships carefully collected their escape pods, making sure everyone was saved. They had expected to be destroyed. Instead, they were being rescued by the very people they had come to conquer. Send a message to the Empire, Reed ordered as the last pod was recovered. Tell them, the unstoppable has been stopped. This is your last warning. Leave Earth alone, or we'll show you what else we can do. As the dreadnought's remains burned up in Earth's atmosphere, Reed looked at the game controller on his desk. The Empire had failed to understand a basic truth about humans. Everything they did, even their entertainment, prepared them for survival. Sir, Wilson said quietly, do you think they'll take us seriously now? Reed watched the Imperial escape pods being brought to Earth's space stations. They just watched their strongest ship get destroyed by humans using modified video game controllers. If that doesn't make them take us seriously, what happens next definitely will. Captain Wells floated in the darkness of space, watching her breath fog up her helmet's visor. Around her, 50 other human soldiers drifted silently, their experimental spacesuits powered down to avoid detection. The Empire didn't believe anyone could survive in space without a ship. They were about to learn otherwise. Target approaching, whispered Johnson through the radio. Imperial supply fleet, right on schedule. The Empire's ships appeared out of faster-than-light travel, their massive hulls glowing from the jump. They never bothered to scan for individual human-sized objects in space. Why would they? No known species would be crazy enough to float in open space, waiting to ambush ships. Remember, Wells said quietly, we only have one shot at this. Use your magnetic boots when you land. Don't let them know we're here until we're inside. The Imperial ships passed close to the hidden soldiers. At just the right moment, Wells pressed a button on her suit. Small thrusters, designed by combining human rocket technology with Imperial power cells, pushed her toward the nearest ship. Her magnetic boots clamped onto the hull with a soft thud. Around her, other soldiers landed silently on different ships. The Empire's sensors, designed to detect enemy vessels, completely missed the humans walking on their hulls. Teams in position, Wells whispered. Begin Operation Ghost Ship. The soldiers activated their plasma cutters, tools that Earth's engineers had created by studying Imperial weapon systems. They carved holes in the ship's hulls, sliding inside before the emergency shields could activate. Inside the Imperial ship, Wells led her team through maintenance tunnels. The Empire's designers had never thought to guard these spaces. Why would they? No enemy had ever invaded a ship while it was moving at full speed. Control room ahead, Wells reported. Johnson, how are the other teams doing? All teams in position, Johnson replied. 5 ships, 5 control rooms. Ready on your mark. Wells smiled behind her helmet. The Empire was about to learn another lesson about human warfare. No place was too dangerous for humans to fight. Execute, she ordered. Across all 5 ships, human teams burst into control rooms simultaneously. The Imperial crews froze in shock. They had never seen enemies appear inside their ships during flight. It was supposed to be impossible. This ship is now under Earth's control, Wells announced, her team securing the surprised Imperial crew. Surrender, and no one needs to get hurt. The Imperial captain stared at her in disbelief. How did you get aboard? Our sensors showed nothing. You still don't understand humans, do you? Wells replied, starting the ship's shutdown sequence. We go everywhere. We fight everywhere. Space is just another battlefield to us. On the other ships, the scene repeated. Imperial crews surrendered to human soldiers who had appeared like ghosts inside their supposedly secure vessels. The entire supply fleet was captured without firing a single shot. Message from Earth Command, Johnson reported. They're picking up Imperial transmissions. The Empire is panicking. Wells understood why. The Empire had lost 5 ships to soldiers who had literally floated in space waiting for them. It went against everything they believed possible. "Ma'am," one of her soldiers called out, "we found something in their cargo hold. New Imperial spacesuits. They were trying to copy our design." Wells examined the suits. They were perfect copies of human designs, but they missed the most important part: the human ability to adapt to extreme conditions. "They still don't get it," she said. "It's not about the technology. It's about the will to use it. The Empire would never think to put soldiers in space without ships because they're afraid to take risks. But humans, we've been taking risks since we first climbed down from trees." She turned to the captured Imperial captain. "Tell your leaders this. Every time you think you know our limits, we'll prove you wrong. Every time you think you found a place we can't fight, we'll already be there waiting." The captain looked at these strange creatures who had captured his ships from inside. What are you?" "We're human," Wells replied simply. "We adapt. We survive. And we never, ever give up." As Earth ships arrived to secure their prizes, Wells looked out at the stars. The Empire thought they knew everything about warfare after 10,000 years, but they had never met a species that turned impossible situations into victories. They had never met humans before. Admiral Grant stood before the Imperial High Council, his hand shaking as he held the datapad containing his latest report. The massive council chamber, usually a place of calm discussion, felt tense with fear. "Honorable Council," Grant began, "I've completed my study of human history. What I've found—" He paused, gathering his courage. "What I've found should terrify us all." The council members shifted uncomfortably in their golden seats. They had never seen their chief strategist so disturbed. "Speak freely." "Admiral," the council leader said, "what have you learned about these humans?" Grant activated the chamber's holographic display. Images of human battles throughout history filled the air around them. "Humans don't just fight wars," he explained. "They learn from them. They grow stronger with each conflict. Look at their world wars." The images showed the rapid advancement of human technology during their global conflicts. From basic planes to jets, from simple rockets to space travel, from mechanical computers to artificial intelligence. In just 6 years of their Second World War, they advanced more than most species do in a century, Grant continued. "And now we've given them access to our technology." One council member stood up. "But surely they can't match our 10,000 years of advancement." Grant shook his head. "You don't understand. We advance by building on success. Humans advance by learning from failure. Every time we defeat them, they come back stronger." New images appeared. Imperial ships destroyed by human tactics that shouldn't have worked. Space stations turned into weapons. Game controllers used to pilot warships. "And it's not just their military," Grant added. "Other species in the Empire are studying them. Look at these reports." He showed messages intercepted from various Imperial worlds. Many species were secretly impressed by human resilience. Some were even trying to copy human adaptability. 3 Imperial worlds have already attempted secret contact with Earth, Grant revealed. They see humans as inspiring. A species that proves the Empire isn't invincible. The council chamber erupted in shocked whispers. Never in Imperial history had member species tried to ally with an enemy. "There's more," Grant said quietly. "We found their entertainment broadcasts, their stories. For centuries, humans have been imagining and preparing for this exact situation." He played clips from human movies and games showing Earth fighting alien invaders. The council watched in horror as they saw countless scenarios where humans defeated superior forces. "They've been rehearsing this war in their minds for generations," Grant explained. "Everything we do, they've already imagined a way to counter it. They've been preparing to fight us before they even knew we existed." The council leader leaned forward. "What do you suggest, Admiral?" We cannot appear weak before the galaxy. Grant took a deep breath. I suggest we do something the Empire has never done before. I suggest we learn from our enemy. He showed more images. Humans helping Imperial survivors, treating captured crews with respect, offering peace even in victory. Humans don't just survive war, he said. They can also make peace, but only if they're treated as equals. If we continue trying to conquer them. A new alert flashed across the chamber's screens. Another Imperial fleet had been defeated. This time, humans had somehow used Imperial energy shields as weapons, turning the Empire's own protection systems against them. They're not just copying our technology anymore, Grant warned. They're improving it, finding uses we never imagined. And they're doing it faster than any species we've ever encountered. The Council sat in stunned silence. 10,000 years of Imperial history had taught them that superior technology always wins. But humans were rewriting those rules. Make your decision quickly, Grant advised. Every day we fight them, they grow stronger. Every battle teaches them more about us, while we still barely understand them. He looked at the latest battle reports, showing human victories that defied Imperial military doctrine. We thought we were testing their limits, he concluded. But the truth is, humans don't accept limits. They break them. And if we don't change our approach soon, they'll break the Empire too. The Council chamber remained silent as the images of human advancement continued to play around them. For the first time in Imperial history, the mighty Empire faced a species that grew stronger from defeat instead of weaker. The question was, would they learn from this, or would their pride lead them to an even greater defeat? Admiral Jones stood on Earth's new command bridge, watching as the largest Imperial fleet ever assembled appeared at the edge of the solar system. 500 ships, led by the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Sun Killer. They're really going to do it, she said quietly. They're going to try to destroy our sun. The massive Sun Killer ship opened its main weapon port, revealing technology that could make stars go supernova. The Empire had only used it once before, against a rebellion 700 years ago. No one had survived. All stations report ready, Commander Peters announced. Operation Last Light is in position. Jones nodded. The Empire thought this was their ultimate weapon, but humans had been preparing for this moment since they first captured that Imperial scout ship. Send the message, she ordered. Peters activated the communication system. Attention Imperial Fleet. This is Earth Defense Command. We know what the Sun Killer can do. We've studied it. We've improved it. Look above you. The Imperial Fleet's sensors suddenly detected something impossible. A second Sun Killer, hidden behind Earth's sun. Impossible. The Imperial commander's voice boomed through the bridge. You couldn't have built one. The technology is too advanced. Jones smiled. We didn't build it. We grew it. She pressed a button, revealing the truth. The second Sun Killer wasn't a ship at all. It was millions of tiny machines working together, shaped like the Imperial weapon. Humans had combined Imperial technology with their own nanobots, creating something entirely new. You see, Jones explained, while you were building bigger ships, we were thinking smaller. Your Sun Killer is impressive, but ours can do something yours can't. The swarm of nanobots suddenly broke apart, surrounding the Imperial fleet like a cloud of metal dust. Our version can adapt, Jones continued, thanks to the technology you so kindly shared with us when you tried to conquer Earth. The Imperial commander laughed, but his voice shook slightly. Your tricks won't save you this time. The Sun Killer cannot be stopped. No shield can block its power. Who said anything about shields? At Jones's signal, the nanobot swarm activated. Each tiny machine carried a piece of the improved Sun Killer technology. Together, they created a field that the Empire had never imagined possible, a field that could redirect energy. The Imperial Sun Killer fired its weapon at Earth's sun. The humans watched calmly as the massive energy beam approached their star. Now, Jones ordered. The nanobot field caught the energy beam like a net catching a ball. The Imperial crews watched in horror as their unstoppable weapon was not only stopped but redirected. You studied our history, Jones broadcast to the Imperial fleet. But you missed the most important lesson. Humans don't just adapt to survive. We adapt to win. The redirected energy beam split into hundreds of smaller beams, each one targeting an Imperial ship's engine core. The Empire's greatest fleet found itself trapped by its own weapons' power. Surrender, Jones offered, and we'll help you safely shut down your ships before the energy overload reaches critical levels. Fight, and we'll be forced to watch your fleet destroy itself. The Imperial commander's voice was barely a whisper. How? How did you do this? Simple, Jones replied. We took everything we learned from you, combined it with everything we knew, and made something new. That's what humans do. We create. We improve. We overcome. One by one, the Imperial ships surrendered. The mighty Sun Killer, pride of the Empire's fleet, was captured intact. Humans had not only stopped the unstoppable, they had turned it into their own weapon. As Earth ships moved to rescue the Imperial crews, Jones looked at the nanobot swarm, still shimmering in space like a silver cloud. Send the final message to the Imperial capital, she ordered. Tell them, your greatest weapon couldn't destroy us. Your largest fleet couldn't defeat us. Consider carefully what happens next. Earth awaits your response. The Empire had brought their ultimate weapon to destroy humanity. Instead, they had given humans one more piece of technology to improve upon. As the captured Sun Killer was towed to Earth's shipyards, Jones wondered what the Empire would learn from this defeat. Would they finally understand that trying to destroy humanity only made humans stronger? The answer would determine whether the galaxy faced war or peace. The Imperial High Council chamber had never been so quiet. On the massive display screen, recordings played from their war with Earth. Each scene showed another impossible human victory. Ships captured by soldiers floating in space, game controllers defeating their best pilots, nanobots redirecting the Sun Killer's beam. Admiral Stone, the one who had first warned them about humans, stood before the council. His old warning had proven tragically correct. The vote is complete, the council leader announced. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Empire will issue a formal warning about a species. Admiral Stone, you will write it. Stone nodded. He had already prepared the document, having learned long ago to never underestimate humans. Send it, the council leader ordered. Across the galaxy, on every Imperial world and ship, screens lit up with an urgent message. The Empire's warning about humanity began to play. To all species of the galaxy, this is an official Imperial warning of highest priority. We have encountered a species that defies all known rules of warfare and advancement. They are called humans. Do not attempt to conquer them. Do not attempt to threaten them. Do not underestimate them. Humans possess abilities that we previously thought impossible. First, they adapt with impossible speed. In the time it takes most species to understand a new technology, humans will have already improved it. Second, they turn everything into an advantage. Even their entertainment makes them better warriors. They have no concept of proper warfare. They simply find ways to win. Third, they grow stronger from defeat. Every failed attack against humans teaches them how to fight better. They learn more from losing than most species learn from victory. Fourth, they have no fear of the impossible. If you tell a human something cannot be done, they will specifically try to do it. And most terrifyingly, they often succeed. Fifth, they show mercy even in victory. This makes them more dangerous, not less. Their offered peace is genuine, but their warned consequences are equally real. The Empire officially acknowledges Earth as a sovereign and equal power. All species are warned. Any attack on Earth will be considered an act of supreme foolishness. The humans have already defeated our strongest weapons. They have already mastered our highest technology. They have already proven that nothing we consider impossible can stop them. To those who doubt this warning, We remind you that humans defeated our undefeated dreadnought with modified entertainment devices. They captured our ships by floating in space. They turned our sun killer against us using machines smaller than dust. If you value your empire, your fleet, or your pride, do not provoke the humans. As the warning played across the galaxy, Stone added a personal note to the Imperial records. Let history show that humanity's greatest strength was not their technology or their tactics. It was their ability to imagine the impossible and then make it real. The Empire ruled 10,000 species by being the strongest. Humans survived by always finding a way to become stronger. We thought we were gods among the stars. Humans showed us we were simply the first to reach space. They showed us that true power lies not in what you have, but in what you can become. The Empire will survive this defeat because humans allowed it. They offered peace when they could have demanded revenge. They showed mercy when they could have shown destruction. This, perhaps, is their most terrifying quality. They are as capable of forgiveness as they are of victory. May future generations remember. The day we tried to destroy humanity was the day we truly understood them. And understanding humans means knowing one absolute truth. They cannot be conquered, they cannot be controlled, but they can be befriended. The Empire spent 10,000 years teaching the galaxy to bow before our power. In 1 year, humans taught us something far more important. True strength lies in knowing when to offer peace instead of demanding surrender. As the warning spread across space, ships from 100 worlds changed course, carefully moving away from Earth's solar system. The Empire had spoken, and for once, every species listened. Humanity had earned something no other species ever had, the Empire's respect, and with it, perhaps, a chance for a different kind of future among the stars.